Hi everyone, this is Candy Johnson. I am your host. This is Real Talk, brought to you by Real Raw Records. Today's topic is, where are the know-it-alls? Okay, we want to know, where are the know-it-alls? Generally, when this statement is used, know-it-all, people are usually saying it to be sarcastic and insulting of someone who seem to have the answers to everything. I don't understand myself why or how and at what point in our society did knowing things become an insult. But that's the way it is, all right? Now, I don't think people give things much thought before they say them or before they incorporate certain sayings or wordings in their conversation. And what I mean by incorporate things into their conversation, for example, people have used the word know-it-all or using that as a derogatory term. Now, if they were using that term in a derogatory manner and they were referring to someone who isn't pretending like they know what they're talking about, and I have come across a lot of those type of people. Generally, they are very unknowledgeable people. But the problem I'm having with the term know-it-all being used towards a person that's knowledgeable is that, is it supposed to be a good thing to be dumb? I don't understand that. Is it supposed to be a bad thing to know things, to be wise? Back in the day, way back, during the day when we looked up to people who were wise, and we looked at them for guidance, and we looked to them to know it all. And if they didn't know it all, it was a certain level of disappointment that they were greeted with when they didn't know everything, especially if they were a person, a go-to person for knowledge. People will use the term know-it-all because they feel inadequate, is what I've found with the use of that term in a insulting manner. And instead of them giving a person their props, as we see in the Black culture, or instead of giving that person their just due credit for having a variety of knowledge or wisdom or being intellectually competent, people will try to talk down upon another person. It's become a common thing to be a hater. As I am speaking to an audience and a mixture of people from different countries and cultures. But in the United States, we are familiar with the term haters, all right? And that term has been used very widely to describe people who are not complimentary to a person's character or their accomplishments even. So we call that a hater. But even that term has been abused to the point where if you tell somebody the truth and be honest with them about your opinion, or be honest with them and speak the truth to them, about them perhaps doing something wrong, saying something wrong, or inappropriate behavior, then people will say, "Oh, you're just a hater." Well, what am I supposed to be hating on here? Like, hater was supposed to be used for a person that's actually doing something commendable, and then someone being jealous or hateful towards their accomplishment. So all of these terms are just being used and abused, like the words love, faith. We've discussed that in previous broadcasts, how people just abuse terms, okay, and just abuse. This is word abuse. Who's gonna start a movement to vindicate the abuse of words and phrases? Know-it-all is one of those terms that have been completely and totally abused. People that seek out knowledge but have no wisdom, they just know a bunch of things and they're useless for application, meaning they know a whole bunch of things, but they ain't doing nothing with the knowledge. I'm not interested. I'm not interested. I love wisdom. Wisdom is applicable knowledge, okay? It's knowledge guided by understanding, okay? Sometimes I will come across people that are very knowledgeable about things, but they have no clue of how to make use of that information. These people that call themselves or consider themselves intelligent, to me, it's not very intellectual or very wise to obtain information and just have a lot of information that's of no practical use. All right. So I'm looking for the know-it-alls. Not very many people would probably be interested in know-it-alls. And that's because people have gotten a negative mindset about what a know-it-all is. But I'm gonna give you all something to jack your brain around a little bit today, all right? Just another little something to think about. Do y'all remember that game that, I don't know if they still have it on air, but it used to be a game on television. I think it was called, Do You Want to Be a Millionaire? All right. Well, on that show, I'll say, now I could be mistaken, but just get the point of the message I'm trying to get across to you. On that game, they had, you could have a lifeline, you can phone a friend, and you had these options of referring to someone else to help you with the answer, so that you could either go to the next level or win. All right. So people would rely as much as they can upon their own knowledge. But those lifelines were, what do I call that? The lifelines is what would really get them the big money. All right, or the closest that they could get to that $1 million. Now, if you had an option to call somebody and phone a friend to help you, and you was right there at the point in the game where you was going to win hundreds of thousands of dollars or either $1 million, would you want to call your best friend that tell you all the good, beautiful things that you want to hear and tell you you're so perfect and you're so wonderful and you're so awesome and you rock? Or would you want to call that person that you can't stand, that you insult on a consistent basis and call them know-it-alls? Would you want to call that know-it-all who you know might know that answer? Get out a little thought, but when you're doing it, keep it real or take your ass back to fantasy land, because know-it-alls are worth a lot of money. You just didn't think it of that way. And if you didn't think of it that way, it's because you don't know nothing.